and welcome back. We're joining us on our couch for our final conversation for the day. Our representatives from the team that went to the Rush Fest summer soccer camp in Colorado. On our couch we have Mr. Daniel Fabro, who is the country director for Rush Belize, and we have two of the strikers from the team. We have Mr. Jaymion Cacho, who is a striker on the team, and we also have Mr. Keffer Pertau on our couch this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. I'll call you both gentlemen since you're gentlemen in the making.
And welcome back and congratulations.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit, let's start with you boys. Tell us about what it meant to get the chance to go out of Belize and play at a soccer camp. Jaymion.
It feels good because we could have been great in that camp, and we have to experience more, and we could be a star for Belize.
Nice. And for you, Keffer?
Well, it's the same way like he said, we can be more better than it should be better than. So our camp, we train hard and we learn more experience so we can show our talent at the States.
Yeah.
So Daniel, tell us about this initiative as country director. And we do want to point out that you are the father of Dimitri Fabro, who is an up-and-coming soccer star coming right out of Belize.
Yeah, well, Dimitri also interned for a year at Rush, and through Rush, he also got the offer to play football in the United States. So he has a college
college scholarship.
Yes, to Colorado Christian University starting in August. Mm-hmm. And so he will be taking that up. And Dimitri has dreamt big from he was small, and that's what we want for these kids, for them to dream big and go for it.
Yeah. So Daniel, obviously through your experience with Dimitri, you have kind of found the ins and outs of how to encourage young boys in the sport. Yeah. And you've taken it the additional step to now reaching out to other boys within the community. How do you recruit players for your camp? Well,
we have an ongoing football program. Mm-hmm. We recently played in the under-13 Mundialito. Mm-hmm. And we had played earlier than that on the U15 and U17 tournaments. Okay. So we try to keep it going. But the plan was always this Rush Fest camp in July. Yeah. And you have to plan a year ahead because it's very expensive. It takes a lot of paperwork with visas and everything else that is involved. But this was our goal this year, and we try to involve other players from different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. But by no means this is a national team. Yeah. We are not the Football Federation of Belize. This is a private initiative. Mm-hmm. And so through my contacts, I had spoken to people who are in charge of football or involved at the highest level in Corozal, in Orange Walk, and Santi and I at YWAM, we've worked together for years, so I also involved him. Orange Walk immediately jumped on it, and we started working with the two boys they nominated. Mm-hmm. Corozal didn't show much interest until it was too late because I had to set a time frame when we cut off. And so we had to go with two of our standby players. But that's how we recruited. We didn't really go and scout per se. You didn't do a full... Right. I knew the players from Belize City who we invited because I see them every Saturday when we have tournaments. So the Belize District players I was familiar with. The ones from outside Belize District I was not familiar, and those were recommended by the people we usually deal with.
Go ahead. Tell us why you personally decided to invest in this initiative, in football and for kids.
I've been involved with football for many years, and my sons will tell you that that is why Dimitri, for instance, is obsessed with football. But
I like that you say obsessed.
You have to be obsessed with it to take it to the other level. And dedicated, obviously, and have discipline and be prepared to make the sacrifices because it's not easy. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. But I have gotten involved with the youth. For me, it is more exciting for me to see the excitement in these kids' face, for instance. Most of them had never been to the United States, obviously. Most of them hadn't even gotten a passport. And so for them, it was an exciting time, and for me it was exciting watching them, how excited they were. And so that's my thanks I get for doing what I do.
How difficult is it to get an invitation or to be allowed to participate in Rush Fest?
Well, we signed an official document, myself becoming a member of Rush Fest last year, June.
Okay.
And we didn't go to the subsequent Rush Fest, which was a month later in July. But I sent Dimitri, and Dimitri went and he observed, and he worked with one of the clubs in Colorado as their assistant coach. And so he got a lot of experience. And I told him that in 2017, I'm bringing a full contingent. And I said it like that. I didn't believe it myself, and they didn't believe it, because normally an international team doesn't go because for different reasons, financial constraints, visa constraints. So they would only send up maybe 3 or 4 players, and the players would play with other Rush clubs. But we managed to pull it off. I have to mention here that the bulk of our sponsorship for this trip came from outside Belize. It came from a Belizean American living in New York City, Mr. Wilfred Smith. He owns Jonathan Metal and Glass, and he gave over 80% of the budget.
Oh, wow.
All right, because locally, we really need the companies to step up and make a difference. We need them to have more of a social conscience. But the reality is, if we had to depend on local sponsorship, we would not have made this trip.
And you came back with the success to prove that it's a worthwhile initiative, which you knew before you were heading out.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah. So tell us about the size of the contingent and just what the reaction was when you took these young boys with such stellar talent. Jaymion said he scored 3 goals, 2 goals. Keffer said he scored 6 goals. So these guys were out there and they put out, they showcased their talent.
Most definitely. We always knew we had talent. Dimitri and I have attended many youth training camps and youth festivals, and we knew that our kids can match up against any kid in any part of the world at a certain age group. The problem is that we don't have continuity in Belize. They're good up to the age of maybe 15 years old, but there is no continuity in Belize. And for us, we knew that to expose these kids to the international coaches, it was important, because for our kids to go to the other level, I believe we have to get them out of Belize at an early age. We have 4 of our kids who are the coaches are interested in. We had Demil Flores from Dangriga. He was the leading goal scorer. He scored 9 goals.
Wow.
But he was invited immediately to the elite camp, and he did well. And we have Keffer here. They're interested in Keffer, and Kaya Rekenia from Belize City, and from Roaring Creek we have Jaymion, Belize. They're also interested. And so the next step for us is trying to get these kids up to Arizona in November, because that's when their next elite camp will happen, and they want these 4 kids to go up.
So what I was just going to ask, what does it mean that they have interest? Obviously, they're school-age children, so they have to be in school. But does it mean that they want to commit to training these young kids in the future?
Well, for Rush, they also have elite camps in different age groups.
Okay.
And so if they would select any of these players, because it's a trial, and if they would be selected for the final team in their age group, I guess we would have to, at that point, sit down with their parents and whatever to see how logistically we can make it happen. But the idea is probably that they might have to go and live in the United States. And that's the sacrifice I speak about. Because our kids have to be exposed at a younger age, and they have to be brave enough to take that giant step, both themselves and their parents. Okay? Keffer is one who's been chosen. I don't know, you could ask him if he might be brave enough to take that giant step. It's not an easy thing for a child.
How much do you boys love football?
100%.
100%, right? What you want to be professional players when you grow up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who's your favorite player?
Messi.
Easy question, right? So, what was it like playing with the other kids at the camp?
Good, because we met a lot of friends. and we saw some of the players who play with the Colorado team.
Oh, nice. And for you, Keffer? How was the camp for you?
It was very good too. We meet friends and we learn more experience.
How often do you play football?
I don't know.
Every day?
Yes, ma'am.
From you finish school?
Yes, ma'am.
You get your homework done too?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
And how come you love football so much? What made you get interested in football?
By watching it and
Learning
about it.
On TV?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you better than the other players that were there?
a lot much.
I love that.
And humble too.
So if you have to leave Belize and go play with one of these groups, would you do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Just like that?
Not so easy.
Oh, not so easy. It would be a little bit hard.
Yes, ma'am.
But you want to be able to pursue it as your profession, as your career.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us about what position you play on the team.
I play forward.
You play forward, and you as well, right?
Forward,
You
yes,
play
ma'am.
forward. And why you like playing forward?
Because you can get a lot of goals and score against other teams.
Oh, so you like score the goals?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Do the
everything.
celebration. Do you have a special dance? Come on. If you watch football, you have to have a special dance. Or
Yeah,
more.
victory.
How do you celebrate?
You celebrate. You don't take off your shirt and fling it around.
That is the truth because they scored 25 goals in 4 games. And they only celebrated 1.
Only one?
Only 1 because the other teams, when they score, they have choreographed celebrations and a whole lot of thing. Our boys, when they score, it's almost like they're upset to score. They go back to the center line, and we the coaches say, guys, don't be afraid,
accomplishment,
celebrate,
yeah.
enjoy. And truthfully, there was only 1 of the 25 goals they really
And what was
celebrated.
so special about that one goal?
It wasn't anything
Beautiful
special.
setup or
It was
something?
just led by one of the players who finally said, let's try to do a little bit of celebration. I think they were maybe shy, intimidated.
Okay, we got to work on a punta or something, right?
Yes.
Well, you broke down something.
Our players stood out for their speed. The American teams, their players played more organized, tactical
Structure.
football, structured. You could see that they have been together for years.
Yeah.
Our players we only trained together for 4 days before we
Wow.
traveled, and they probably would have been much better if they had trained for a couple months together. But we had natural ability, natural speed.
And I can imagine that would be more difficult to have a structured team because we have kids from all over the country. So getting everybody together on a Saturday might be a bit of a challenge. So how do you combat that challenge? Helping them to learn to work as a team, because football, you need to be a unit.
Well, that is, as you mentioned, one of the problems because we have the players, for Belize City, for instance, the Mundialito, the under 13 competition only finish a week or so before we travel.
Yeah.
And we play every Saturday with the Mundialito, so we cannot train on the weekends. And then Orange Rock had just begun their Mundialito, and then Belmopan has their ongoing stuff. So it is a bit difficult. That was the only 4 days we could squeeze in considering all the circumstances. But really, maybe next year we can do better, that we can have them together maybe 2-3 weeks at least before we travel. Because they would do much better if they would train as a team.
So Daniel, you set out on this goal to be able to take other children, because you've been working to get your son into these programs before, but you decided you would take a full contingent and you did it. Did it exceed your expectation, or did you know from the onset that they would go out and wow the international players over there?
I knew they would do well because I have been to a lot of these things. But I had expected. They were the star of the tournament. Not only because they were playing well, but because they were the only international team.
Wow.
And so all the other teams wanted to be friends with the Belize teams, and the girls were rushing them, and these guys were all shy. They went in a corner. And
Good, stay just like that, boys.
Right.
Yeah,
just
just
so.
football.
But
Football.
because they had girls teams and boys
Okay.
team, and so everybody wanted to take pictures with them. Everybody wanted their shirts. Everybody, because they have gift exchange night, and so everybody wanted the stuff from Belize.
Oh, that's nice.
right.
What's the one thing that you enjoyed the most about being at the camp? One thing.
when we saw the players from the international team and they trained with us for a day, and also when we went to the water park and celebrate and swim and have fun that day, because that day we have a free day to rest. And so they take us to the water park and we saw some of the international players.
And for you?
Just have fun in the whole trip.
Okay. You had fun playing football. Now, of course, there's a full team there. I don't know if you know all their names, so it'd be great if we can say who else was on the team. Is this the full team? No, this is mixed. The one before, the photo before. Let's give a shout out to all the rest of the players. Yeah.
Another one.
The one
Before
that.
this. Yeah.
The one after that. the one after that.
Where they're
The
on
one
the
in
field.
the airport?
No, the one on the field.
The one on the
Oh,
field.
the one on the field. We still can't get it right. There are quite a number of photos to go through.
No, the one he just had it on just
Yeah, right. Go back like 4.
right after this. No, the next way.
No.
But these were wild, right
Right there.
Right,
Right
great.
there.
Well, no, you can use Zumba.
Yeah. So let's talk about the players that are there.
Right.
Uh-huh.
All right, that's the one.
So this is our U13 Warriors FC team that traveled to the Rush Fest soccer camp and wowed everybody.
Let me start from the back row, from left to right. That's head coach Santiago Valencia from YWAM.
That's right.
And beside him is the assistant coach Wilmore Steen. And then we have Demil Flores from Dangriga. He was a year older than them, and we had to seek special permission for him to attend because I was determined for them to see him. And my determination paid off because they're very much interested in him.
He's the top scorer.
Yes, he was a man amongst boys.
Oh, wow.
You know, beside him is Anthony Osha, and then we have Jaheim Wilshire from Roaring Creek, Delhart Dominguez, and the other one is the other kid they're interested in. That's Javan Belal from Roaring Creek, and beside him is Xavier Moreno. Xavier is actually he's a Belizean American. He's my nephew actually. He lives in Dallas, and he joined us because he wanted to go with his cousins, and he ended up playing, and he played well that he won his starting position by the end of the term. He's a good little player. Then beside him is assistant coach Julius Allen. You moved it? Because
Zoom back out.
Next week.
No, zoom back out. The other coaches. Yeah.
right,
All
and
right.
on this end is on the second row Tyrese Agustin from Orange Walk, Kaylin McFoy there beside him, and beside him is Reed Ho, he's from Roaring Creek, and
The
Kaya
one
Rick.
with the fancy hairstyle?
Correct, he had the fancy, he got a lot of attention with that hair.
Well, footballers are known for fancy
Their
hair now,
hair.
right?
Right, and that's Kaya Rekena, he's from Belize City, he's the other player they're interested in also. And beside him is that Jaymion Cacho, and then Keffer Pertau, and beside him is Xylin Flowers. Xylin got a lot of attention too because he had long hair and he had it in plaits, so a lot of people thought he was one of the other kind. And then that's my youngest son there, Danny Fabro, and beside him is Dylan Gongora. Dylan Gongora is from Roaring Creek also. And up front in the goalkeeper, that's Ali Ryan Flores, and Javan Smith, who is from Orange Walk.
Okay. And of course, your son Dimitri is also assistant
Dimitri
coach.
Fabro there on the far right in black and white.
All right. So what happens now? You took them out. They've gotten exposure. They have their talent validated. What is the next step for this camp?
The next step, I want to rest a bit.
For sure.
It's been very tiring
Yeah.
to be handling 17 kids you
Yeah.
know, for a week. But in the next 2 weeks or so, we start back because there's another U13 Mundialito here in Belize.
Okay.
But we already started work on this
one in
on
November.
Rush Fest 2018 because the organizers were very happy with what Belize took up, and they're asking me if we can take up 2 teams.
Wow.
And I I can't take up 2 teams because one was enough financially and dealing with it.
The chaperone.
But that's how much Belize made a positive impression at Rush Fest, and they're asking us if we could also take up some girls, which Belize girl football is not as organized. Over there, these kids can tell you the girls are playing really good ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, they would hold their own probably against the boys' team at this age group. So they want us to come back up, and we have to probably begin some of the fundraising. We're hoping that the Belizean business community will see the positivity in what we do. The immediate expense we would have is probably how we would get the 4 kids that they're interested in up to Arizona for November. We still have to work out the logistics. I don't know how long it will be for, if they will put something towards the cost of the airline tickets. But they have done more than enough, because these kids can tell you, we stayed in, they provided a hotel, the transportation within Colorado, the breakfast at the hotel, all the playing uniforms, and they loaded us with football gear. They all came back loaded with twice as much as they went with, you know, and so they really treat us like royalty. And but they want us back, and we're now working to see how we can get back there. But my goal was always, if I can get one of my Belizean kids out of Belize a year to follow their dreams or to chase their dreams, even if it's not to play professional football, maybe they can get an education out of it. They can fall back on that. But we need to get them out at a very early age. They will in turn make Belize the national team when they get to that level much better also, because the more we can get our boys out to play internationally, either at a high school level, college level, professional level, it will make our national team so much better.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly what can come from this. They can get recruited and get scholarships for schools and get to play the football that they love. So congratulations to you and the team and to the boys for going out and showing just the great talent that we have here. And we hope to only continue to see more success coming from them.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take the final break. When we come back, we'll have our wrap-up. So